Hey, hey, hey! How's everybody doing tonight?
So good.
So
Mm-hmm.
good! So good! Ain't that the truth? Everybody excited to get on into it?
No.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Dual wielding croissant.
Oh no.
My
The French are here.
croissant. When the party last left off, they had just made it back to civilized society beyond the minor encampment that they had set out to rest in after dealing with the Flashbang Cavern, and now have made it to Lalo Peak. This location is a mining town. It's currently early in the morning of the 21st day of Red Bear. The sounds of industry start early, as many parts of the city gear up or are already entirely in gear to go out and start prospecting the nearby mountains or harvesting from it or even doing a small amount of processing. Of all of the places that the party has been to, this is perhaps the most industrialized. It has a lot more machinery and mechanics and actual furnaces and other technical equipment than any of the other places you've been to. It is also the start of a new Bastion turn, but we can start to handle that in a bit after the party's had some time to wake up. It's currently probably about half an hour after sunrise, and most of you begin to awaken.
Has everyone recovered from the journey?
More or less.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
He's gonna chew in on something.
Is it a food or is it a distinctly not food?
Is it alive?
It's food.
It's food.
Okay.
This is good. Dillenius.
The long pause makes me think that it might not be. But that's okay. He's chewing on it, it is now.
If meat is food, Pinky wouldn't understand.
You, friend, I'm not exactly sure what counts as rest for you, but has it treated you well?
Yes. I will be alright.
Good. Then we have some minor preparations to take care of, and then we should be back on our way to the Shining City before too long.
This place, while ultimately much less rich than the Shining City, it does quite a lot of trade with it, and is where, if you were looking for more mechanical tools or perhaps more functional types of armor and weaponry, Layla would be a decent place to go about it. The Shining City is certainly has a lot more people there, but also a lot more of them consider themselves more as fine craftsmen than as simple blacksmiths or silversmiths. If you were to attempt to get armor or weapons, this would be the place that you'd get the best deal for it of the places you have been.
You know, it's so interesting that you say that because I really would love to do that while we're here.
Wow.
I'm not looking for anything too flashy. I've just realized I'm woefully unprepared for the kind of experiences that I'm having here. I'd like to fix that if I can. So if I could find a, moderately priced blacksmith somewhere around here.
There's a good selection depends on what sort of stuff you're looking for.
Well, I'm not the most mobile, but I'm pretty strong. So I'm looking for some armor that's on the heavier side, specifically ring mail if I can find it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's insufficient enough availability that unless you're going to spend a significant amount of the week really trying to nickel and dime your way, you can just end up finding it for 3 gold.
Fantastic. I will do just that.
Okay.
It's really cutting into my funds, but I think, being alive to spend that money is more important than having it.
That it tends to. Does anyone else have any purchases they would like to attempt to make?
No, Rat, are there any tools that might be of use to you here? Expand your collection a bit? Ah, okay, okay.
That is okay. We can give it a moment.
I would also like to. Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
I'd also like to see about getting 1 extra week, 1 extra Bastion turn's worth of rations for the party. How much would that cost?
It- at this area, it would be at a slight premium of at around plus 20% since there's not too much in the area.
Mhm.
If you go into weekly or weather effects in food, you can see the standard price of a ration is 4 copper pieces. So here it would be 5 copper pieces
Exactly.
per ration, based on how many you would do. And I do not believe you are going to be doing it enough to begin to deplete it enough that the price would change. You're not buying more than like 200 rations, are you?
No,
Yeah, then the price would remain about the same.
I'm thinking. Damn, rations are fucking expensive.
5 copper?
For a whole Bastion turn, that is 70 rations, which means that is 3.5 gold.
Yeah.
For
I was
And
for 7 people for 2 weeks, yeah?
Mhm.
I'm just gonna hold off until we get back in the Shining City for that.
Yeah. So, tell me, Mr. Tefford and Mr. Friend, what take you of this city? The sounds of industry abound by you, the forges beginning to bellow, the sound of machinery being assembled onto carts to be hauled away.
Well, this is quite unlike any place I've been before, too, right? This is not at like
Right. Caro had a like industrial sector, but it was fairly limited. A lot of the supplies they got was generally from over either in Soju Pem or from the Volstrom territories, as it's kind of a borderland. You can't really go into the mountains too much, so there wasn't too much of a need for local processing beyond shaping.
Teffert's kind of taken aback because the one thing he's probably not used to, even being around bustling cities, is probably this noise. The clatter and din of industry is not something he would be accustomed to. It's not as natural as people in a square, exactly.
Yeah. There's a little bit of talk going on the sides. There's still the hubbub of conversation, but by and large, the parts that begin to radiate out are those of metal striking metal or wood striking earth.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a far cry from a border town. At least in his mind.
And what does friends think of it?
It's all very new to him too, but he's not making any noticeable discomfort in it,
Makes sense.
and sort of just observing everything that he can.
Do any of the you actually begin to share this sort of information with each other in your opinions? Or are most of you trying to keep pretty tight-lipped about how you feel about such a place?
Teffert's not quiet. This is just very, it's a lot. This is pretty intense. I wasn't expecting it to be there, there'd be this much machinery. It was a mining town, but never expected this.
Many of the townsfolk, as you go about and just exist about the beginning of your day and the latter parts of last night, tend to pride themselves on that fact that of all the places past the mountain range, this is the best. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen, but as far as places known on the map by like the Empire and the Kingdoms, it certainly puts a run on their money. Does anybody else have any supplies they'd like to get done here, or would we like to begin talking about bastion turns to give Chad time to return?
Good to start.
Let me
The only
check
thing-
my money.
I can't really afford anything else, so when I rejoin the group, you just notice slightly bulkier, still wearing the vestments over his new armor, but there's a new clink when he walks. And a confidence on his face that wasn't there before.
I will help out with ration supplies.
Makes sense.
Um,
Does anybody else make any comment about Kaio's as he struts about into the inn the group stayed at and proudly, almost flamboyantly, keeps his chest forward as the rattle goes down and his smirk on his face holds?
So I
The
take
face
it
of
you've
a man
taken.
I was saying, it's the face of a man who no longer thinks that he will die at any day.
So I take it you've taken it upon yourself to equip yourself properly.
I was beginning to notice that this is a little bit more dangerous than most of the places I've been. Couldn't really rely on luck to keep me safe, could I?
Well, this is the Wilderlands after all.
Well, work like that. Quite a good payday, I have to say. Didn't think I'd be able to afford something like this so soon.
We'll need more than just one or two good paydays if we intend to, well, afford our continued survival.
Well, I'll keep an eye out for work, I suppose. Think we work well enough as a team?
On that note, once we have everyone together, I had thought it prudent to potentially draw up some terms of continued cooperation so that we all know where we stand with each other as a cohesive unit.
Now, when you say that, do you mean some kind of a contract? I'm not sure I really want to sign something like that.
One moment, I have to. Right, yeah, of course. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I got distracted.
No, it's fine. You see a doubtful and somewhat quizzical expression on Kaio's face. He put his hand on his hip and then looks at you and says, "Are you talking about a contract? I'm not sure I'm willing to sign something like that. I kind of enjoy my freedom."
Well, a contract for our continued exploits together to determine how to split profits, how to split acquisitions with conditions and provisions to ensure that everyone is treated equitably. I would not think to deprive anyone of their freedom to seek out other ventures, but frankly, the five of us are all from very different backgrounds, so having some base of common understanding would serve us all very well, I would think.
Can't think of any harm to something like that when you put it that way, but I guess I'll wait to see your terms before I, well, even verbally agree.
Yes, of
Oh.
course.
Quite a business-minded man, thinking that far ahead.
In my line of work, you have to think far ahead.
He's quiet, but he seems sort of impressed. Mr. GM, I've got a question for you. How long have we been in town at this point?
At the moment, it has only been one night at this inn.
Oh, fantastic.
This is the first morning. If you intend to sell goods, each attempt at selling goods takes about a day for the person to do. And at this location, you'd probably have either 2 or 3 attempts at selling your decent quality goods. But what is your question? What is your intent here?
Oh, no, I was going to say something to Hiroe, but it wouldn't have made sense because we've only been here one day. So I'll wait until later on in the week. It's a surprise tool that will help us later.
On that note, the goods and information that we acquired while out on the expedition could potentially fetch us a good price while we are here. As someone seemingly versed in such communications, would you be willing to help me upsell our goods?
Oh, I'd love to. I mean, this can only prove more... Well, I don't want to say lucrative, because I don't think you really care so much about that kind of thing, but... We'll call it advantageous, maybe?
Money is a tool like anything else.
That's how I knew you would think about it.
Not to cast anything negative about it, but tools are useful.
Suppose you're right. Now, I know I've been busy. Did I see a marketplace where we could perhaps try and sell our goods while I was looking for a blacksmith?
In general, you know that there's a variety of different places you could go, and essentially, like, are you aware of how the system works here, or
I have
is this one that I would like to explain?
Oh, if you don't mind explaining how to sell things in this world, I would
Sure.
love to hear it.
When it comes to stuff like magic items or specific items like a sword or whatever, those tend to have a very traditional just let's go try to find the seller and bargain for it. But when it comes to things like trade goods, those are abstractions of a large variety of items. The way it works is that you tend to have between 1 and 3, maybe sometimes 4 in the biggest places, depending on demand, attempts at actually selling that batch of trade goods. You make a DC 20. If you don't have any specializations, just charisma modifier, you can add, like, if you have bargaining as a as one of your skills you chose to pick up, you can add that. And each point above 20 adds to the sell value, and each point below 20 takes a little bit of away. You don't have to sell at that rate if you don't want to, or buy at that rate as well. Like, because the same thing's true for buying. But you only get so many attempts every 2 weeks, right? Every bastion turn. There's only so many people who are willing to buy or sell certain items each week.
Very
So,
interesting.
for example, here, this is an area that is like, it's rural, but it's semi-industrialized, so it ends up liking high and medium value trade goods.
So you said bargaining. Which charisma skill would govern that?
I have persuasion and deception, so I should be good at
I was saying kind of just like bargaining as a skill in the index. Is like
I'm looking
a
at the
Okay,
doc.
that's
Where is
new
that in the
info.
doc?
that's in the index complete list of tool proficiencies, crafting, bargaining.
I see it.
Buy and
So
sell
the-
stuff, distributing buys, or like attempting to say like, oh, Your Honor, it wasn't that
Ah, I
bad.
see, okay.
Interesting. So what is persuasion used for in this system?
More casual sort of stuff. I do think persuasion, since it in general, I think a lot of the social skills end up being very overly broad, and the idea of having someone who's more of a trickster versus a bargainer versus a, like, you know, just pure charisma sort of thing, I think those sorts of things have useful distinctions.
I'm gonna say, for the character that I have built, I still think persuasion and deception are the correct choices.
Okay.
So I'm satisfied with the fact that I'm not good at bargaining. I will just trust in my.
BBQ, do you have one of
You
your
can
skills that you'd want to be
also
bargaining?
You can also use your learning points on these, because these are tool proficiencies, so they will hit the tool proficiency lower requirements.
That's right.
For investment.
Okay, so
Beautiful.
it's technically a tool. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's fine. I think
Question, just real quick.
Mhm.
What of the proficiencies was the whole discovering the stone and whatnot? Was that Mason's tools?
Like for prospecting.
Action. Yeah,
I think that was Mason. Yeah.
because there's nothing else related to rocks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Mason's, because it wasn't blacksmiths, because that's using it.
Yeah, you
it was
specifically said
Mason.
not
Yeah, it was
blacksmiths.
masonry. I'm looking at the other rule.
Just
Yeah.
wanted to double check before I said I'm gonna use all my points on Mason and then it not be it.
follow-up
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So I know Rad and I both have guidance. Does that apply to Bastion turn skill checks?
I would say it normally should not, but
I think it should
for
be
the
able to
bargaining
for
one,
your
I think
things.
that one is fine. But
Because it's like it's not really a long-term thing. It's kind
Right.
of like, yeah.
I mean,
okay.
So the idea of guidance is that it's based on the d20. Like, if you are rolling a d20 and it's a skill check, odds are you can probably use it there. Like just raw anyways. This isn't like your ruling or whatever. So
Right.
like any of like the d6s, I'd say, oh my goodness, no.
yeah,
But-
obviously, yeah.
But like another one of the big pre notions of guidance is that it is an action, which means it does take 6 seconds, which means you can't guidance every single person, and you can't
Also
guidance everything.
concentration.
It's also concentration, yeah.
Yeah. So my thought would be,
But like the
For
idea
For
of
me, it's
if-
mostly about the lore and the aesthetic of it. It feels completely like the kind of thing where you know you're going into a conversation, you can guidance and attempt to do it. That one's
what I
fine.
was gonna say.
You can't really say, oh, I'm literally just about to pick this fruit. I'm just about to be on the edge of finding a fruit and gathering it, right? You don't know when you're going to find it, so you don't know when to do it. And
100%.
realistically, given magic scarcity, you're not going to be casting guidance like 400 times in these 6 hours that you're going out and adventuring.
but have you considered L+ ratio? I don't cast magic.
Mm,
My
true.
question is, could that then not be used for stuff like trapping, like setting a snare, using guidance to, well, set the snare better?
I think mostly just for the issue of balance, but I understand from the aesthetic that does start to get a little awkward because those are just supposed to be meant to be the same thing. But yeah, that's understandable.
And
Yeah.
then Hiroe, do you have the bargaining quote unquote tool proficiency?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Just
we're
the-
gonna wing it now. I guess we're both doing bargaining for this Bastion turn. I know we're kind of segueing.
Give me just a moment to roll my 50-50 and find out if there's 2 or 3.
Just really quickly as well. I feel like Guidance's point is to be a consistent little boost to out of combat, like social type, like actions you take. And with how most of our skill rolls have been, I feel like Bastion or unique rolls, I don't think we are able to use this anymore. Like I feel like it's a dead cantrip almost.
I mean, I think it's like I'm saying. I think it's good for bargaining, and if we want to, we can have it apply to the.
Yeah, I took
Gathering
it for
ones.
Rat because like it's like the idea of, oh, he's good at doing things, even if he's not a fighter, he's good at doing things. But like, I haven't really had an opportunity to use that because everything I've done has been related to doing things. But the doing things I'm doing doesn't work with Guidance, I guess.
I think we can talk about that later. It still does a lot of the more traditional things, but the fact that we have a few things that override those traditional things is a valid concern. I think that's something we can talk about after session. I hear you. There are 3 attempts that
How
you get,
exciting.
so you can stay here for up to 3 days, depending on how many on it, if you like any of those things. Who would like to be the person attempting to sell your batch of high value trade goods today?
I was actually wondering, could I potentially give the help action on this since I have a positive charisma?
Yeah, I think that's valid. You're a you're a salesman. You've got the idea. You probably should have bargaining anyway, but you don't, so that's fine.
So we have charisma guy, we have salesman person, we have guidance potentially. I don't mind being the one to make the roll.
Go for it.
Okay, so just straight charisma plus a d4.
Can make it twice.
The Rizzler.
We're
And make it
hoping.
twice over easy. Hold the
Oh, no.
prize.
Oh, that's really good actually. And then,
That's pretty good.
Nice.
Is that including the D4?
No, it is not. So it's a 22. And then I guess I'll try again and see if it's better, but it's probably not. Nope.
Definitely not better.
Sticking with the
So
22.
22. You can either sell it at plus 10% of its normal value, or you can hold out.
So how much are the goods worth?
If you
5
look
silver
in
per.
the
And we have 12 of them, which means that it is 6 gold. With a plus 10%, it would be 6 gold, 6 silver.
I mean, that feels very worth it. I don't think I'm going to get higher than a 22.
Yeah.
And I think you lose your roll if you don't use this one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yes. I will be taking this opportunity, if that is okay with the group.
All right. 2 of them have used their day, or I guess the 3 of them have used their day to sell those goods. What do Friend and Tefrid do today?
Considering that the only thing he would have to think of selling are the crystal shards, and he doesn't actually have a concept of bartering and buying and selling, he's probably just going to be like by the wagon, carving his great club.
That makes sense. Tefrid?
Tefrid is should be allowed nowhere near any kind of sale.
I mean, you guys, here's the thing. You guys don't have to do anything even closely related to sales. Like, you can just, wander about the town, get to know people, or, take a look on the outskirts.
I think Tefrid is going to socialize.
I think that is a good choice.
I think Tefrid's gonna go around, try to get to know a couple of the smiths around town.
You form a little bit of a relationship. A lot of the people here seem to be very earnest and genuine people, if a bit simple. They are very dedicated to simply trying to do the best they can and making sure that the quality of their products is good. There's a decent mix of dwarves, humans, and a few people who are tieflings from up in Chabala who work on it as well.
Fantastic. Very, very neat.
And
This
with
is definitely
that, it is the evening of the 21st, and it is time to make our bastion rolls. Who wants to be weather guy? And 3 people make the.
Before we do, learning system stuff, because this might genuinely impact my bastion roll.
Yep.
How many should we just roll the points
You are
that we
going
get
to be
for it?
rolling 12d6 plus int mod times 6
Times 6.
because it's been 6 weeks. Essentially, this will be the 6th week.
So 12d6 plus so the 12d6 plus int mod.
It's 2d6 plus int mod 6 times.
Okay. So 6 2d6 plus int. Just want to make sure I have this actually like correct.
Clap your hands if you're subtracting. Hey.
Hey!
How do I backwards clap my hands? My ass is an int caster.
You hit somebody with your.
Snap your fingers
Back
for adding
somebody.
0.
Who among you remembers if any of you took the study action?
I
I
don't think
any of us
anyone
had the
did.
chance to.
Right. I think we said explicitly we wanted to hold out on that until we were caught up on it. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
So, first thing we need to do is the weather roll. Because that can, handle some of the other things. What's up, BBQ?
I'll still do a threat roll this week.
I'll do
Okay.
a weather roll. Nobody else wants to. I don't mind.
Currently, we are in hills. Let me change the number for hills.
12d6 plus 18.
God damn.
Oh, thank you for letting me know what I need to roll, Chad.
Now I see 2d4 plus 9. Is that correct?
It's +2, and then since it's Red Bear, it's no modifier, so it's just +2. There we go.
Wow, that's really rude.
Because it is warm hills, which is a +2.
Warmer light clouds. This is so relaxing.
Wow, it's a beautiful week.
I am 62 points into Mason Tools then.
This is good.
Whoops.
You private.
48. I'm gonna write that number down and apply it to something at some point.
That is probably wise.
Oh man. Oh jeez.
I mean, hey, those are actually pretty decent rolls.
I need to do a little
That's a
bit
lot
more
of 5s and
research
6s.
before I.
Better than
Well,
Alba with all of his 1s and 2s.
Yeah,
I
you
actually rolled
genuinely
really well. I'm just
you rolled obscenely well actually. If
I'm-
I had rolled as well as you did, I would be like I would have almost gotten fucking,
There is one number above a 4 in my rolls.
Yeah, no, I did as well as I could. I'm just upset because I am stupid and I usually play int characters. Oh jeez.
Where in the world is my ability to like write notes on this character sheet?
You have to open customization or like that little wrench. Your character sheet is locked.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
And then friend.
Mm-hmm.
You should probably make one as well.
The learning roll or the
The learning.
yeah.
I do also still need 2 more threat rolls. BBQ, have you already subtracted 70 rations?
I have not. I can do
Okay.
that right now, though.
I was one of the threat rolls, right?
Actually,
right?
only subtract like 30 because you're going to be in town.
Okay. Oh, so we spend less
excuse
when we're
me?
in town?
Oh, I meant to do blind. Let me re-roll that.
Never mind. Don't do any of it because most of the time you're going to be in town for 80% of the time this Bastion turn. So we use that chart instead. So just depending on what everybody's lifestyle is that they choose.
Group storage.
Group storage, very true.
I'm gonna roll mine. I'm working on a 2nd level spell slot.
Okay. What level
Ooh,
will
ow.
each of you be living your lifestyle at? Between modest or poor?
Or impoverished.
Or 2 silver, poor.
Where's the chart again? Let me find it.
It's the standard lifestyle expenses, just instead of price per day, it's price per
Right.
bastion turn, which is in section 7 of the rules.
So I'd like to learn
I
a
don't have
spell
that
that
on hand. I
requires.
don't have the book on hand. Sorry.
Okay.
I'd like to learn a spell that requires a teacher, but I don't know if I would be able to find someone that can teach this spell. How do I find that out?
There's almost certainly somebody who teaches it in the city,
Oh, fantastic.
but importantly, you'd need to have them with you for the majority of the time you're learning it. So right now, since you've been out and about, this current learning needs to go to something else, something that does not require a teacher unless the teacher is part of the party.
Interesting. I gotta think about this.
Yep, no worries. We can always think about it later as well if you need.
Oh my god.
And Golden actually rolled really well on the.
That he did.
No ones.
Let's go.
I mean, I'm like halfway to a new tool proficiency. Do I want to pick up bargaining? I feel like that could help us out a lot.
Probably true. We can pass on an exploration roll for now.
Thank you, chat. I'm gonna pin that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
was-
I'm gonna work towards bargaining. So let me write this down on my character sheet. Thank you.
Which section of the character sheet should we write down on?
I'm doing it in biography.
I think that's a wise choice.
I still can't edit my biography.
Are you
You
locked?
can unlock your character sheet.
Where's that button?
Up top left, there's that wrench.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's much better. Where was the prices again?
It's in S2 Gamer Info in Discord.
It is 2 silver for modest, or 1 gold. Or sorry, 1 gold for modest, or 2 silver for poor.
Sorry, it's different.
There's gotta be like a working class.
I mean, that's poor.
Yeah, you know, you're right. I will eat the 1 gold again. I'll be our busy bee.
That is good, considering some of you are trying to be presentable for the Artists Guild meetups.
Yes. I also spent 1 gold earlier on rations. That's 20 rations, right?
Yeah. If you're buying it here, yeah.
Cool.
So importantly, something that I forgot, and even if I didn't forget, couldn't have said because somebody was talking in the room. While we were in town, Rat would have, for the first time so far, kind of poked Hiraway and asked about how he casts magic.
Alright. Give me a moment to think about how to say it. Well, first off, most magic is cast with a focusing object. He takes his sword still in scabbard, and presents the jewel in the scabbard. This is my spell focus. I cast many of my spells by having the blade of my sword rub against the jewel, and that that brings the spell into existence.
Like flint steel.
In a way, yes. And similarly, to fix those spells in my mind, I study from my book, which locks the formula and the runes and other things necessary for the casting of the spell in place so that, given the right motions, given the right words, and given the right trigger, I can call forth their effect.
He kind of looks side to side and switches to Draconic. I'd hate magic, but for a while it fascinated me. And he kind of looks down at his hands. I'm not going to use magic, but when I was back at the Warren, you know how the elders could cast magic. Some people could. It was a blessing, right?
Right.
I stole their staffs sometimes and looked at them. I wanted to know why or how or what was the meaning behind it. And I took them apart and put them back together. as he's sort of like twiddling his fingers, he reaches his hands out towards the blade. When I messed with them, I made them a little better.
All right. If I would wager that one of the others would get more benefit if they would be willing to let you do so, but
He shakes his head no and switches back to common.
No. It's experiment anyways.
all right. Well, there is one more thing that might prove of use if you work on this. The reason many wizards specifically choose crystals is because, well, a crystal is made of repeating patterns inside of itself. The geomancers have found that some crystals work better for different types of things, and that repeating pattern of shapes helps focus magic.
He nods, a little bit confused.
I guess.
But, alright. Hirue unstraps his blade in its scabbard and hands it to Rat. Careful not to topple him over.
he is like struggling with it as he sort of like leans back a little bit and then like unwieldily like turns it around, like having to move his entire torso to actually get his hand all the way to the end, and puts it on the ground looking at the gem. And I think over the course of the day, while things are happening, he'll like jump up on a back or be riding the mule or just other things, looking at the hilt of the blade. This is to say, Rad is using an infusion to enhance arcane focus. He is going throughout the day, looking at it, being more careful with it than he was with the Elder's staves. And essentially, I think the flavor way I want to put this is took what he learned with the staves and what Hirue said, and is focusing on making repeating etchings and patterns into and around the gem on the hilt. Not the, yeah. That he's being very precise and careful with, and probably going to, like, cover with something clear once he gets the chance to sort of like an epoxy over it, but not literally, because I don't think he has the access to that yet.
Yeah.
The gist being, give yourself a +1 to your spell hit and DC.
Oh, and DC?
I believe so. I don't remember.
Let me just check to make sure.
+1 bonus to spell attack rolls. Oh, it's just attack spell attack rolls.
And
okay.
ignores half cover while making a spell
ignores
attack.
half-
That's useful.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to trade out Ray of Frost. So let me just.
Bounded accuracy is weird.
Oh, what did I just do?
I think you casted.
Hmm. Um. Oh, I don't know how to. Actually, wait. I can just edit it in the spell for the time being. Yeah, I'll figure out how to do it with an item later.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
Is Mr. DM man done with the things he needed to do?
I am, yes.
Okay. I was trying to do that to kill time while you were doing that.
Doing what?
You said, give me a second to roll things, and then I said, speaking in town.
Ah, I see. I am indeed sufficient.
Great.
You've always been sufficient.
Yippee!
You are not.
No.
Your life literally means
Your
everything.
life.
Everything.
You serve purpose.
you should
love
live.
yourself now.
Your purpose is to be living your best life daily. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to do before you return to the Shining City?
I'd love to be prospecting.
Ah,
So-
yes, we do in fact get the opportunity, since you are actually traveling, to take travel actions. That is true. What actions would everyone like to take this turn, knowing that now we also include the study action, which lets you roll 2 additional dice on
Before
your
we do, Teford bought 20 rations, right?
Tefford?
Yes, I bought 20 rations.
Okay, I'm going to mark that down because I hadn't added those yet.
Did you mark those down, Tefford?
I marked my gold gone.
Okay.
Yeah, because we spent 30, we were at 70, so I went down to 40. Now we're up at 60.
Gotcha. The actions available are guarding, gathering, surveying, and studying.
I will study, if I may.
You may. You can go in and
Might-
roll 2 extra d6.
Oh, nice. Do I roll that now, or do I wait until we get learning points?
Right now.
No.
Like, here's the thing. This is the reason why I wanted to do it in order. Technically, that does happen first in the order, so that when you do your learning progress, you know how many to roll. But you can go ahead and do it right now. That's pretty good.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
So that's an oh yeah, that is a full-on extra 11. You don't add your int to that part.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
I do also need one more threat roll.
gonna be
Golden,
a-
give me a threat roll.
Hey, God bless.
Just a GM roll
roll.
20.
God bless. God bless.
All right. What actions are others taking?
Since we're so close to the city, I think I might as well study as well.
Okay. Golden.
If no one is guarding, I will guard.
Okay.
Is that also just a flat 20?
Let's just make a perception check. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does that have to be blind to you?
No. You know it.
Okay.
That's one of the ones that you explicitly know how well you do and other people can do.
Nice.
Yeah, so y'all know that friend is on point.
I think I'm gonna gather.
Okay, which one?
It doesn't really matter. They're all the same number for me.
Okay, go ahead.
14.
14. That is a ration. Actually, since that is a D20, you want to go ahead and add an extra D4?
I would love to.
That's 5
Yo.
rations.
Rat sure as hell isn't helping.
Pentuple.
See, you don't have to balance my guidance because Rat just won't help half the people.
All right, I think this is my deal. I think I am willing to allow guidance to work on it if I can increase the DC by 1 point. Just so that, like, at the worst guidance, it stays equal.
Sure, I think that's fine.
Okay.
And maybe only allowing one person's guidance to work on one bastion roll.
I mean, I think you could also just make it a D3 as well.
Could
Or-
also
no,
just,
that doesn't function. It because your intent is a 0, 1, 2, 3, and not a 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4.
all right. You got it.
We out here prospecting. It is, I think it's a neutral for me because it's the lower of which two again? I'm sorry, I'm gonna get this eventually.
No, I believe we talked. I don't know if you remember. We talked about it like immediately after session. Pretty much gathering is the only one that we want to be hybrid right now because that one actually is interesting to have be hybrid
okay.
because like multiple people being in contest for it means that even if you didn't specifically build it, since like there's a limited amount of slots, that
Okay, then
one
which
is just
is-
going to be int.
Oh, I thought prospecting is gathering, or I guess it's not literally gathering because I'm not
Yeah, we're
grabbing
gathering
things and
information.
discovering things. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Then it's a 1d20 plus 3, which is a increase. But don't worry, it'll be my worst roll yet. It's a d20.
It's a D20. It's a 14.
That's a d20.
So that's a 15 then?
Yeah, but you increase the DC, so it's effectively a 14.
No. The gathering, different system.
Ah, okay,
Right,
okay.
right. Prospecting, not gathering. Prospecting is you get between 1 and 10 based on how high you roll. And
All
with
right, so
that, you
15
get
then.
3 prospecting attempts.
Perfect. That is actually exactly as many as I would really be able to use with the big bonus anyways, so.
Essentially, the way it works is at 8 and below, you get 1, and for each 3 over that, you get an extra 1.
Base. Boost. Goose. Alright. Does anyone else need to do Bastion turns?
So we did 2 studies, 1 gather, 1
Yep,
guard,
everybody's
and
good.
1 prospect. Yep.
Nice.
I'm rolling it on those 3 on the river. Just by
Okay,
the way.
1 hills. That's a 5
And a
or
river.
that's a 2 or above. No, 3 or above. No, yeah, it's a hills. That's 2 or above.
What's the modifier again?
Um,
We did a river.
Sorry, I guess
One
I
more.
already modified it. It would technically be a 3 or above, but just roll a d6 and it's a 2 or above because a d6
I see.
plus 1 is, yeah. All right,
Oh, nice.
if you go into the rollable
Yo,
tables,
there's a
you
table.
can now right click and just click roll on table.
Here, let me just roll 2 d6 more so that we can do this all at once.
Yeah. Wise. Yep, all of them
Perfect.
are good.
All
so,
of them are good.
in order, go ahead and do it. And then we can move back once I've placed them.
Prospecting and scouting. It's rock and stone.
Rock and stone.
1,
Ooh, iron.
2, 3. Iron and granite.
Iron, granite. It has been done.
Wow, Lalo Peak has iron right next to it. No way.
That's crazy, dude.
No way
Oh.
they would make it right next to iron. I'm gonna lose my mind.
No fucking way.
And then the party makes it to the city on the end of the 23rd day.
Nice. Hooray. Don't you love
While the
history?
party's
He said, well, the parties.
someone else said something, that's why I was asking.
I mean, I make
Anyway,
an off comment. Don't you love surviving? It's
True. While the party is on the way to the city and getting close, Hiroi is going to broach the subject of a continued contract for splitting resources and responsibilities and information about opportunities for as long as this group continues actually traveling and venturing together, just to ensure that misunderstandings can be kept to a minimum, since we come from so many different backgrounds. I can draw up the terms once we actually get to the Shining City, but out here in the wilderness, not enough time to actually think properly about such things, or frankly, a stable surface to write on.
Let me know when you're ready.
Rat kind of grumbles a little bit.
We already have deal. You get things and I take things that we get.
Right.
If we get thing rat needs, rat take. Don't care contract.
I think you're gonna have some difficulty getting him to think in anything different than that.
Rat turns his head.
Rat also not need much.
Well, for my part, I don't think anything you're interested in would interest me at all, so I'm quite happy with your terms.
Rat nods smugly.
Rat good terms.
Yes.
Signature look of superiority.
Rat says, look at this raw material. Kaio says, what is that, a fucking rock?
A
It's
boulder?
not just a boulder.
It's a rock.
It's a rock.
There's gonna come one of these days that we discover like 18 tons of pure gold bars, and Kyle's gonna be like, "Yay, Rat won't want this," and Rat's like, "I'll take that, thank you. You know our terms."
Of note, the party sold their high value trade goods, right?
Yes.
Then remove them from the inventory of the storage. And did we split them up, or do we just have the money on the guy?
Let's leave the money
Updated.
on the card for now. We can split it up once we have.
I got the money up. Not your funny up.
Yeah, baby.
But
I don't know
Jeff,
how.
friend, what do you think of the proposed terms?
I don't understand.
Well, I suppose many of these terms would be less applicable for you anyway, considering that you have no need to eat. But
Rat kind of puts his hands on his waist and kind of puffs his chest up.
See, what happened is greedy skinnies want things that get and have to say, this thing mine. So we make deal with skinnies. So if get thing, they say mine.
For the time being, my contract will fall under Tefrid's.
I'll accept that.
You're like the odd one out here.
I trust you guys. We fought goblins together.
That I suppose we have.
Rat shrugs.
Is there a name to the group described in this contract?
Nope, not yet.
No.
I will leave that for the
Hereby, all
undersigned
parties
to-
involved is the name of the group described in the contract.
It's yous guys.
API.
York.
All parties
I will
involved.
let the undersigned parties come up with a collective name for.
Don't let Rat choose. It's gonna be something rude. Rat and those people.
Well,
Rat in the flesh bags.
Rat in the flesh.
The skinnies?
True.
That's a great band name.
Rat in the skinnies. Skinny rat.
Hmm.
Alright,
Interesting
once
stuff.
we return to the city, I will get the terms drawn up, and hopefully there should be few problems.
Ah,
And we're in the city at the end of the 23rd?
Now it is the end of the 23rd, and the party has made their way into the city. I do not believe Rat or Friend have taken away their costs for the lifestyle they would like to live this Bastion turn.
Rat has 4 copper, and his lifestyle is always matching Heroways because he's with Heroway.
Okay,
I'm
I will
Wretch.
attract another gold.
You're Wretch? Oh no.
You're a wretch.
Did you
Comment?
live the gold lifestyle?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
He needs to make it. He is making sure, like, he's bathing. He's making sure he's getting his clothes done because he's going to both be presenting himself to the developmentalists and trying to make a good
Yeah.
first impression at the artists' assembly.
Sorry to lay all of this onto you, BBQ, but Rat absolutely is just going to be matching like how you, because like he's not actually taking care of himself very well. He's just following and doing what you do whenever
Yeah.
he's not
No worries.
gross in work.
Kaya was absolutely just doing his best to survive. He wants to be presentable, but also likes knowing that he has money if he needs it. And if he did try to live a nicer lifestyle, he would be flat broke. Completely broke.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Chad, did you want to buy any tools while we were back at Lalo Peak? I know that I asked at the start of the session, but then you had to step away for a moment, and then by the time we
No.
were back, we were already leaving.
Rat is limited not by the tools he has, but by the proficiencies of the tools he has. We have
Right,
tool
because
for
of the right tool for the job, yeah.
Artificer is such a cool class.
It is such a good class.
Hmm. The agreement I came up to with JC is that because of the way that the time takes for making the new tools, I can have any tool for a Bastion turn. So like, I can't like magically change the tool that I chose to like Thieves' tools if we like discover something mid Bastion turn if I used them for Mason's tools for prospecting. So like for the Bastion turn, if it's Mason's tools, or if I like get a head day start, I can change it. But like, you know.
Alright, and welcome once more to the Shining City.
We're being called Shining City, not very shiny.
I've noticed that as well.
You know, I should probably describe the Shining City since I don't think I've done so since the campaign has started. It's a rather vast expanse that sits at the mouth of the river to this inland lake, and on both sides of this river exist many towering structure. Unlike many that would be found in the Empire, many of these buildings are integrated with both natural construction as well as artificial, both towering structures of stone and brick, as well as having plant life woven both within and on the outside of, giving it a great deal of uniformity across it. There's various terraces that have a little bit of agriculture on them where people grow their own crops, and a large amount of glistening, as many of the buildings have intense decorations on them, especially on the roofs, which provide a gentle gleam that can be seen from a good distance away. Of particular note are 5 buildings that are larger than the rest, each one corresponding to one of the guilds. The developmentalists hold their headquarters at the mouth of the river near where the port yard is. The integrationists on the northwest side of the city, or actually just west west side of the city, where a lot of the incoming trade routes are held. The naturalists are a little bit on the outskirts to the north, being in some of the very lightly forested area to the north of the city. The artists hold themselves on the on the east side of the riverbank in a series of rather tall towers that end up being the tallest buildings there. And the Unitarians sit somewhere in the central/northeastern section, with a large amount of almost warehouse-like structures that they use to house and feed many of the poor in the city. And across all of these is the ever-signature shiny top of every single roof. Now you may continue.
So it is shiny after all.
I also wanted to ask, how much do the lot of you know about the various factions that govern this city?
Bren just gives you a blank stare.
His signature special.
For his neutral special,
He
I can't claim to know everything about them, but I was given some degree of briefing before I came here from Dugan. So, to prepare everyone for what we might encounter within the city itself, I suppose it would be prudent to inform you all of the political climate. Starting with the faction that the people of my home city wanted to make inroads with are the developmentalists. They are industrialists and urbanites who want to spread the rule of civilization, a new civilization, through the wilderness. Then there are the integrationists, who have a similar goal of spreading civilization itself, but they have the rather self-defeating goal of making the Wilderlands into a mirror image of the kingdoms and the empire. What they hope to achieve if they do in fact win, so to speak, and they're left to decide whether it will be a mirror of the Empire or of the Kingdoms, I don't know. There is also the Family of Unity, who believes that by merging some of the most charitable and equitable religious teachings of the various faiths across this continent, they can finally achieve a truly peaceful society. The naturalists are similar in that they believe that the people here should live in harmony with the natural world around them. and are ultimately striving to ensure that the other factions don't exploit the natural resources of this place too much and leave it barren. And lastly, there is the artist congregation, who they are something of an odd one out in that I fear I would misrepresent them, but just know that they have unique goals compared to the other four. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, sure. Of these very interesting people, who do you trust most? Who do you like most? What are your... what do you see the value in?
Take a
I
side,
think the easiest.
BBQ.
Huh?
Take a side, BBQ.
Well, I would say the easiest to trust are in fact the integrationists, as they have the most clear and obvious goal, the goal that is most familiar to, well, three of us, I would imagine. However, that does not mean that I necessarily agree with them or like them. I can presumably trust the integrationists to pursue policies that match our various homes, or pursue courses of action that would lead to such policies being implemented. If I had to choose a faction that I would personally cast my lot in, I see no reason to oppose the Legion on wanting to make inroads with the developmentalists.
A very broad answer, but I think I understand where you're coming from.
Best ones are ones who give us most stuff.
See, I like that answer. It's very straightforward.
On that note, if you'd like to go after this conversation to the 24th and attempt to go out and search for a few bounty boards, you could, but there's also on the 26th an artist congregation.
I hate to say it, I don't think I'm in the right state of presentation for something like that. If I'm making a first impression, I don't want it to be when I'm slovenly like this.
You could always change your lifestyle.
But I'm broke.
You could always
That's the
ask for money because
prestidigitation
people
between
have
the
money.
Baroque works.
The party did
Yeah.
in fact just gain 6.6 gold, which was not distributed to the group.
It is currently in storage.
Oh, this is so cute. What the heck?
On the topic of distributing our acquisitions, I believe it prudent to leave a group fund of roughly 25% of any money or supplies that we acquire for emergency use and for example, gaining rations, so that we don't starve in the wilderness. Aside from that, I think it prudent that the remaining 75% is distributed evenly among the rest of the five of us, 15% per individual.
That seems, what's the word? Equitable.
Non-monetary gains, if there are no objections, I would say if each individual will have a chance to lay claim to any given item, and if nobody wishes to specifically lay claim to a given item or resource, we will attempt to appraise it and treat it as if it is a monetary resource.
We're good. 6 gold, 6 silver is 1 gold, 6 silver, 5 copper, 25%.
He says while like looking through his bag for something else.
So with that we have. And in that case, give me a moment to. And that means that each of the rest of us gain 9 silver and 9 copper.
You hold. Give copper.
Right. So, given that this does not exactly split evenly, I propose that we each gain 1 gold, and the caravan is left with 1 gold and 4 silver.
I'm fine with that.
It sounds agreeable to me.
Or 1 gold and 6 silver, my bad.
I'll never forgive you. I'm just glad I'm not the one that has to do the calculations. That sounds very boring, I will admit.
Rat kind of like looks up and tilts his head
Is easy.
and kind of looks back to what he was doing.
Right, but I just don't want to do it.
Typical Pinky.
He's just many like God, what an idiots are going through his head right now.
I don't even believe in deities, but God, he's an idiot.
Inventing new gods just to pray to them. Give this man 1 brain, I'm begging.
He needs 2 more brain cells. He needs 1 more so that he can rub 2 together to generate thought.
Okay, so you're kidding when you say that, but I have a 9 intelligence. I really do just need 1 more brain cell. I'm begging. I'll get there after I learn bargaining.
So, with that, everybody has money if they do want to live a modest lifestyle to make themselves presentable for the artists. Or we could still have the situation where if Friendshoot is to show up, he'd walk in with like mud on his like feet and legs and everything.
I guess I'll ask the group, do we want to look for bounties first, or would you like to try to make an appearance?
We
I
got
mean,
2
you-
days.
Yeah, you got 2 days.
2 days is not exactly much time
Well,
to leave
you can
the
still
city and then.
So
Look
look-
at
Oh yeah, we can
bounties.
look.
Yeah. The general bounty center in an area that, you know, other places would probably be called an adventurers guild, but it's much too decentralized and delocalized, and it's really just more so a meeting point of the other 5 guilds to be properly called an adventurers guild. There are 3 ones available. One is titled Bone Busting, one is titled Bounty Hunted, and the other is Hunt for the Gold Hide. You can take increased looks at each of the 3 of them. Boop.
Oh.
Rat.
A rat by any other name.
Boop.
Hmm.
Boop.
Well. Ooh.
Bren seems abnormally drawn to the 3rd one labeled bone busting.
I was actually also looking at that.
How will they know if they're obtained from somebody that isn't undead?
They're pretty sure gonna check it. It says right there.
Well, presumably even something as simple as a detect magic could detect lingering traces of necromancy on the skulls.
Or maybe they can just tell if they've been in use lately.
Oh, no. Oh, I think I've... Now that you say that, I think I... Well, never mind. I won't get into it. It's a lot easier than I thought, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I could just ask. Were you dead recently?
Wah.
But where is it again?
Where's what?
The bounties, I close them out to look at each one.
They are in the journals section. Under papers and writs.
So we
There is
have-
nothing in the journal section.
Do I need to... I clicked show plays. Do I need to do something different for reveal
Might
to
need
player?
to adjust to...
Configure ownership. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
I will do that instead.
Ah,
Well, depending on how
Ah.
many skeletons there are...
a rat by any other name.
Just curious, if I ask somebody near where the bounties are posted about these, would they have any additional information or no?
Depends on the bounty. Like,
So I'm just...
like Hunt for the Gold Hide, like that's one that you guys heard about when you were out in Bastion,
Mm-hmm.
and supposedly is still ongoing. They haven't found it.
So
That one
they-
would probably do it. Bounty Hunted probably would as well, but Bone Busting, there probably wouldn't be too much more information, and unless you manage to find the exact people who said it, and they could probably give a bit more detail.
So it's... We don't know how many skeletons, and it's 1 gold per 3 skulls. So if there are only 6 skeletons, that's hardly anything compared to some of these that are quite a bit more rewarding.
Is also very, very far away.
Yeah, yeah.
We could always do it on the same trip that we go out to Kark for Bounty Hunted.
Oh, I mean, hey,
Fewer trips, more efficient. More money for each trip.
I like the way you think. Sounds practical to me.
Learn can trap rat. Rat, think like rat.
Where is Bastion anyway? Have we seen that on the map?
Yes, it is. It is on the map to the left of this one. It is the area that you
Oh,
went to in
right,
your
yeah.
first session.
Right.
It is in the region to the left.
So quite far. Many trip.
Hunting the golden rat seems like it would be quite far out of our way.
I know.
Would it have been obvious that Tefred was interested in bone busting?
I would have said it, yes.
Well, looking at the options here, why that of all?
Well, the undead, honestly. They,
I'm just
wow,
going to
my
assume you're a
my
little...
brain just stopped fucking working. I was mid-sentence and it just stopped.
The brain has powered off. Please return later.
Yeah, no, it really just did. Well, of the ones here, this is the one that's most, most monster-esque to me.
You have particular interest in monster hunting?
You could say that. It's in my blood.
Oh. Well, it's as good as reason as any, I suppose.
Skeletons can aren't very good for a town near a populace. They spook easy.
But if they're far from any civilization, then
For now.
yes. Although, and I will ask Mr. GM, me as a person, I have heard of, like, you know, necromancers. If you see undead, there's probably necromancers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing that people in this setting might perhaps
Yeah,
conceive
no.
of?
Necromancy is not actually that taboo most of the time. Necromancy is kind of just a normal form of magic, like most others. Like enchantment's kind of the taboo one most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also like it's not known that there's any necromancers down there or anything. Most of the mages in the area end up like gravitating to either Midstone or the Shining City.
Right. So I will just say, where there are bones to be busted, there's probably some mage of some sort who's causing a ruckus. But I note that there's nothing in here about a reward for stopping him or her or them or whatever. So we don't have to worry about that if we find them.
If you choose to ask, do you choose to ask the family about any of the information they have beyond what's written on the writ?
I mean, if we're taking this up, then of course I'd love to.
Yeah, they end up describing that the people who had been out there hunting described them as being relatively aimless and wandering, more like shambling undead than directed, which could choose to influence your opinion.
Oh, I'm just saying we're not getting paid to do anything about the person that created them, so if we run into that person, it's not my problem. I'm not being paid to worry about it.
Ah, I see.
But I think we're satisfied with these two bounties then? Bone busting and what was the other one? I closed the
Bounty hunted.
Yeah, bone busting, bounty hunted.
I think so.
Park and Hirora. Which, yeah.
You can choose to pursue those at any time. In 2 days, there's an Artists Guild conventions, and if any of you want to dress up a little prettier or abstain from going, you can choose to do so, or if the party wants to just head out now, you could do so as well.
If the party chooses to stay for the artist convention, I will refrain from going and instead find out stuff about the bounty hunted bounty.
Makes sense.
And then after that, probably, if I could, take a study action.
I think because you only spend 2 days on the road, I think I'll allow that. You can study.
Okay. Do you want that an hour later?
Now.
I think I will abstain from the Artists Guild this time, but I would like to buy a shield, just a standard shield.
Yep. Whatever the price of the standard shield is.
Nice.
I thought you were one of the ones who wanted to go to this one.
Not this one, no. I want
Oh.
to wait until I've built myself up a little bit more. I mean, it's my first introduction to quote-unquote high society. I don't want to ruin that by not really coming prepared.
So it's
I-
4d6 with study action.
No, just roll an additional 2d6.
Okay.
Because you already rolled the other ones. Just that you had 2 dice.
Oh, dang.
God damn.
You already rolled earlier, didn't you?
Oh, I didn't mean to click that.
Well, still 12. That's pretty good.
The first 2, yeah, that would just be 12. So just add 12 to it instead.
Nice.
Oh, right. I should probably keep track of the first.
Yeah, that would
Out of
probably be wise.
Oh, when we roll the extra from the study action, do we apply that immediately, or does it wait until our next?
It applies
learning point?
immediately because that happens before. So here's the actual series of events since people jumped the gun when we were doing it earlier.
Oh.
Okay. When a bastion turn happens, first we roll for weather, then we consume rations or don't consume rations depending on if you're in a city.
Mm-hmm.
Then the party makes their exploration roll, which we skipped because it was short. Everybody performs their travel action, which would let you roll 2 extra dice when you do your study. Then we roll that for monsters. Then you roll learning progress, and in that step, if you took study, you roll 2 additional d6.
Okay. That makes
So
sense.
it is only 1 roll. It's just that it was at different times because, you know, we jumped
We
around.
skipped ahead a little bit.
We got excited. It's fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then you
Um,
take away lifestyle expenses if you're in a city.
Mhm.
And then lastly, you decide if you're doing any crafting during that turn.
Yeah. So I will say, for the purpose of the narrative, the Artist Guild thing, we know that it's coming up. And you can tell that Kaio is interested, but then he kind of looks at himself and just kind of shakes his head and says, No, not yet.
What
Are
that,
you sure?
Chad?
The next Bastion turn.
It is not the next Bastion turn. It is currently the 24th.
See.
Are you sure, Kyle? You could just clean up a bit with prestidigitation and...
That's not. I think I'll wait. Kind of working on
Alright.
bettering myself anyway.
Well, that's an admirable goal.
Thank you. I hope the
Jefford,
favorite.
are you joining?
Oh no! That's not my crowd.
It seems the party wants to go out and make more of a name for themselves.
Maybe like an actual name at some point. We'll find it eventually.
That'll happen.
I'll say, given the fact that the group did end up spending their money on being in the city, you probably spend about 3 days, maybe 4 days, just resting up, preparing to head out before you do so.
I do have a couple things I would like to do in the city before we do leave. One, Hiroi would like to go to the artist thing on the 26th, even if nobody else is going.
Crowd is following. He's well made.
And probably on like the 25th or just before the party leaves, he would like to go to the developmentalists to bring them the tip of this den of goblins that had was in the process of creating a war machina, and he had helped at least delay the construction on his way to the city, but had intended to come back once he'd gathered a party to aid him in such endeavors, and thought it prudent to bring it up to the developmentalists in case the goblins come knocking on the city's door with a war machine.
Was that to me?
Yeah.
Sorry, one more time. My apologies.
Okay, so at some point, Hiroi is going to the developmentalists, informing them about the
Got it. Okay.
this den of
Got it.
yeah.
Got it.
the den of goblins who made the war machina.
They have been informed.
Yeah, he did specifically say that he intends to take care of it. He had just been trying to gather a party first to hopefully take
Makes
care
sense.
of that.
Kaio, you have 3 or 4 days to rest up, and also if anybody wants to craft, you can attempt to craft an item.
I know Golden did a study roll. Could I also do a study roll while we're here?
What was it? Didn't you do a study roll already?
I thought you did study.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm confused.
Mhm.
I guess I thought he did something different.
Yeah, no. He did guard, but I'm like, he knew that it was only going to be 2 days. I think it's fair for him to do guard in the study.
Because guarding wouldn't have really been necessary. So we're
Right.
totally-
He's not
Yep.
taking up guard at the city.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so I'm just going to try and gather whatever information I can about bone busting and bounty hunted while we're here.
Gotcha. A lot of the information I've already communicated.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of. Actually, go ahead and give me a investigation check.
Sure. Can I use my charisma for this?
I think you're communicating. Yeah, I think that's good.
Well, never mind.
You end up figuring out that, in fact, much like the writ says, there's, forests to the south and southwest of Hirora, and eventually there ends up not being forest and it goes into grassy plains.
Wow. I never would have known. It is not very productive.
It's somewhere
Someone
down
help
there
this poor man.
is something.
Yeah, investigation is not my forte. But still, he enjoys being in the city, and it's kind of fun to meet people, even if I think he ends up not learning much because he's spending so much time just kind of gossiping about other things and making pleasant conversation. To the point where he's like, "What was I asking? Yeah, it's not important."
Everyone else here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just want to make sure because so what next?
Kai, Tefford, do you have anything you do over these 3 days, or are we all ready to head on out on the adventure on probably like the 28th?
No, I think I'm ready to head out for the adventure.
Considering you have 5 days, you got something in mind, Chad?
I'm just
Right.
checking numbers and stuff. I'm trying to RP as well, but goodness gracious, my brain does not mix excessive mechanical looking at things and calculating things with RPing very well.
Yeah, we kind of did end up diving into the mechanics a little bit since we introduced the system, and also people ended up talking a lot about the money and numbers and stuff like that. We
Even
jumped
past
around
that, I just have a lot of individually with my character mechanical things that I'm going into, like thinking about because every time we hit a city and I'm sitting here like, okay, I have to think about, do I actually need X or Y for this? Do I want to prepare for this or that? Have like any given material for any given creation?
Right.
Just I think I'm just gonna hold off on super going hard on any of that and kind of free my brain space up for now. And just once, like I think I'll probably start kicking off on more of like the, because I'm
Let's get
kind of
the
itching to get
baseline
into the
under-
crafting system, and I think I'm just gonna wait until we find things with it, and then I'll start looking to buy things based on what we find. But,
Makes sense.
because like every time we hit a city or a town or something, and it's like, you guys want to do anything? I'm sitting here like, okay, but there's metals, but what would I use metals for? But like, I want to
I
make
will
something. I know I want to
issue
improve this, but
a
I don't know what to
challenge.
do.
I want you to come up with like 3 sorts of sets of things out of game, like in between sessions, just 3 sets of things of being like, hey, these are things that I might want depending on the circumstance, just essentially setting yourself up a little cheat sheet where you can be like, all right, is it any of these 3 cases? If not, let's not worry about it for now.
Yeah.
Like a little flow chart or something. That could probably help.
I
Anyway,
guess it just feels kind of vague.
I mean, I think of it just as a guideline is how I tend to think of it. I think stuff like that's useful even in real life stuff.
Yep.
Someone should be buying like Bastion turns worth of rations, by the way,
Oh,
for 2 gold and 8 silver.
I can pitch in a gold for that.
Now we do also have the mules with a gold and 6 silver.
Mhm.
A gold and 7 silver, so we would only need someone to pitch in 1 more silver.
Oh, I'll pitch in the silver.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Brend would have probably given his share to Teffred.
I'm gonna let you hold on to that.
No, he does not understand currency value.
So we have
Stuff like
two
that.
characters that don't understand money, two characters that very much do, and one character that really understands money. This being Hiroe.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so we have 135 rations now. That should
Nice.
hopefully hold us over till we get back to the city after these 2 jobs.
Well, probably one of them. One of them
I-
sending you to the southwest of Aurora.
I would also say for that Tefrid would hold on to the money. Tefrid is not spending any of the money that you give him, friend. Because he will hold on to it. Please keep it track of that for you.
Okay, he is not.
He's not going to spend. He'll hold on to it for right now, but eventually you're going to have to learn. And he doesn't want to.
Like out of character, I get that, but like in character, he doesn't understand. He doesn't care.
Understood. Yeah. Well, that's just what Tefrid's going to do with the money for right now. He's not going to spend it. He's not going to
Right.
even consider using it right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Oh.
I will say that for the artist thing, Hiroe is actually going to swap to wearing his fine clothes that he has for actually being a courtier.
Oh, you were going to that?
Yeah.
He's the
Okay.
only. Well, him and
Sorry,
Rat.
Yeah, him and Rad are
I
going.
will abstract it instead of going into the
Yeah,
actual
'cause-
event. Let me look at it. I'll do one of the other ones. Hold on.
We long rested, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a essentially a celestial musics concert where a series of different groups go in and essentially take their turns doing a round robin, doing attempting to incorporate both elements of like enchantment with music in an attempt to evoke a lot of representations of either just actual celestial, like just the stars, or some of worship, or like a variety of mix of those things. It ends up taking place late at night on the 28th, such that most of it happens under the night sky.
Wasn't it on the 26th?
I thought it was 28th, but we'll say, yeah, that it's on the 26th.
Hey,
That's
yeah.
that's 2 days later, yeah. And then the party's staying till the 28th, right? Because they're resting, right?
Mhm.
That's what it was. Late at night on the
Yeah.
26th, such that it takes place underneath the night sky. One of the performances is of particular note to you because it's inspired very clearly with both the imagery as well as the music, that it is referencing the eclipse that had happened just a few weeks prior. It's not quite
Did you see the picture?
patriotic, but it feels patriotic with how gloriously they represent Lady Moon.
Good.
You end up
Just wanna
making a
see if you
few
Yeah.
introductions and have made yourself well known to a few of the people who frequent the Artists Guild.
Yeah, they're probably not going to remember him too terribly well since this is just like one introduction, but getting his name out there is going to be useful.
That it is.
Alright.
It is now the morning of the 29th.
Well, shall we head out?
It's been nice relaxing, but, well, might as well. Got work on the way.
Ready thing find.
Zephyr, friend.
Let us
I
go
am
then.
ready. Yes, I am ready.
Lead the way. It is the morning of the 29th. Who is the guide?
I'll move the token. How many spaces do we get to move across grasslands with road? 4?
Across with road just lets you ignore penalty.
Okay.
So essentially every tile, if you're moving road to road, is 3.
Okay. I also cannot move the token.
Yes, I should probably unpause the game.
Okay. So we're going here on the
It
29th.
is the 30th.
Then, any objections to us heading into Cart and then asking more specifically where the bandits would have gone so that we can cut down a bit of tracking time?
No, that sounds great.
Okay.
As you get there on the evening of the 30th, you end up asking around a fair bit. It's pretty simple, as not much persuasion or coercion is needed, as they are very willing to provide the info. They're the ones who implored them to put up the bounty, after all. Down here, in this section, is where the event occurred, and they fled generally in the direction to the northeast, excuse me. Like up into these
Okay.
sorts of hills over here in this dry land.
The bounty also specified returning the following items, so to speak. but-
There's a list of items that is
On the
detailed in
grid,
the bounty.
okay. Okay.
I don't suppose there's anything to grab while we're here.
Only if the party chooses to engage in like buying or selling. I personally would say you should probably grab a few more rations, but
Hmm.
I think it'd probably be wise to get some more rations then. Just
Yeah.
overdo it on rations so
It's
that we're
better
not.
to be safe.
we do not have a rations expiry one. The opportunity cost is low.
And if we buy too much, then we'll just have more for when we continue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I figured that the lack of rations expiry is because we're basically doing first in, first out.
Yeah. I am very impoverished. I can't really afford to do anything. I don't know how many rations we'd like to get, but I have 1 gold and 3 silver.
I have 7 copper that is just loose copper. I would like to contribute that to getting 5 rations to round us out to 140.
Red has 4 copper and he's not giving a single.
Yeah, no, I would not.
I
survive
will.
on this copper.
I will spend.
We would need 1 silver and 3 copper to finish out the.
Take a silver.
Yeah.
Can I break one of my silver?
They
into-
end up. I mean, yeah, you can always break your silver and the copper super easily. They end up just. You don't even need to pay that last bit of copper though. If you're going out there to hunt it for them, they give it to you.
Oh, lovely.
Can't wait for the civil.
Many thanks.
I investigating to be using Electrum and therefore having fully justified whatever happened to them.
True. It is now the morning of the 31st. Woohoo!
Alright, let me roll my threat roll real quick.
Oh, I guess I'll roll weather.
Mm-hmm.
Could you modify the rollable table?
The majority of this area is in forest, so I will roll for forest, which I believe is almost identical. I think it's just up by 1.
Yeah, it says it's a +3.
Yeah, forests are also a +3. Yeah, so there we go. It has been done.
Thank you, thank you. Ah, how pretty.
Yippee! There's a little bit of rain, but ultimately nothing too bad. Nothing to impact party travel.
I assume that we are trying to bring the bandits back, yes?
Well, if
The
we
2
can.
that is required for the 3 extra gold.
Means we have to plan around more rations, but I guess
Not if we get them back quickly.
will the cost in rations outweigh the reward for bringing them
3
back?
gold? Certainly not. 2 extra bodies would only be about 3 days worth of travel, meaning only about 6 rations.
All right, sounds like we might as well do it.
And additionally, we can potentially gather some of the foodstuffs that they had at their camp.
Secondhand food, I mean. If it keeps, it keeps.
I do have some magics of my own that might prove useful in detaining them. For instance, I am rather familiar with the Hideous Laughter spell, and I can put a few people to sleep at once if necessary.
I don't think I've got anything like that. Most of what I have is very basic, as you've seen.
If we can capture them without spilling blood, then we should.
I don't think that'll be quite possible, but admirable
Depends
nonetheless.
on how many of them there are. I will detain as many as I reasonably can.
As will I.
Should look to scout where held up camps, whatever.
Unfortunately, I don't have my owl on me.
You have an owl?
Not around, but yes. Find familiar is rather expensive in today's economy.
Really? How much is it?
The approximate cost of the components is 10 gold.
My goodness.
That's an expensive owl.
1 gold.
No, it's normally 100 gold.
No.
What?
Find familiar, level 1. VSM, 10 gold worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs that must be consumed by fire in a brass brazier.
Were you
Something
kidding
that's
about
funny
100
now.
gold?
A first level spell would never consume 100 gold.
I mean,
Yeah, that's fair.
it might require it, like the pearl.
Like identify.
Right, but it wouldn't consume it.
Consume.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I
For
thought you
some
were
reason,
joking.
I
Ah!
would probably mix me up with identify.
God damn. Yeah, that would suck.
Oh, it is only 1 gold, but 1 gold for summoning a rather fragile creature is, given how tight money is these days.
One gold for scout information.
He kind of shrugs.
Cheap.
Yes, but we have other obligations, Rat.
Sorry, that was a bad joke.
He's just kind of trying to subtly remind Rat of the fact that the owl is with the other kobolds.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, the information is of great use. Well, at least if hostiles don't immediately recognize it as an Arcturus familiar. Regardless, we should be on our way.
And so we are off into the distance.
I do need 2 more threat rolls.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Yes, I will be
Yeah,
arguing
so
that.
only I rolled.
Oh, what do we need?
Oops.
We need
2 more
1
people to roll
person to
for it.
do adventuring one, and 2 people to do exploration. And Tefred, go ahead and roll me a D8 plus 3 since these are party level. And Golden, I need a GM roll D20. Hey, an 8. That's pretty
Nice.
good. Alright, it has been done. Go ahead and make your first day of movement.
Alright,
Study.
so moving here. Are desert tiles 2 per day or 3 per day?
Normally they are 3 per day. However, they are 2 per day in certain weather. When
Okay.
you get to this tile on your way down, eventually Tefred, being the one who's doing a lot of the nearby scouting / explorationing. Oh, you know what?
What?
We need to do travel actions. We're just all over the place
Oh.
today. We're
Yeah,
just out of it.
I am on very low processing power.
Sorry.
What action do you want to take?
The D.
He's a studier.
I mean, that's a 2d. It's additional 2d6, right?
Mm-hmm. So it would be
Modifier stays the same?
46 plus int mod
Okay.
because it's proficiency. That's decent.
Nice.
All right. I have to do calcs now because that does complete the mason tools.
Woohoo!
Sorry, I kind of missed it. Are we doing bastion actions as well now?
Bastion
Yes.
actions.
Yeah, when every time you do weather, that's when a bastion action happens.
Okay, I would also like to study if I can.
Yep, that's 46 plus int.
Okay, you mean it's fine. Oops, that is not a roll.
True. Golden, BBQ, and Tefrid.
Wow.
Are we also rolling learning or no?
You do,
After
yes,
we
but
finish this.
you do that after the action because if you take study, that changes it.
Yeah.
I will guard then.
Okay, roll 2d6
Okay, I will
plus
study
int.
then.
Am I rolling the 46%?
If you're studying. If
No,
you
I'd
take
be
study
probably-
as your action.
No, we probably need food.
Okay. Then you would roll 2d6 plus int.
For food? Oh,
No,
right.
For-
you always do learning. Studying
Mhm.
just gives you more dice.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That's much better.
Yep. So that's your that.
Mhm. Okay.
And then since you're doing food, go ahead and give me your roll with the guidance and all that.
I will also study. Oh, that was private. What was the result?
19.
Hey, not half bad.
And then the last roll we need is Tefra doing really any of the food. So just roll me,
Mhm.
d20 plus the d4. Hey, pretty good. What's the d4 gonna be?
It's gonna be a
Hey.
3.
That's
So
Pretty good.
24, which
11.
is 11 rations.
Yeah.
No, which is 10
Nice.
rations
Right. Right.
because it's
For
increased by
rationing.
1 now.
Rat shun.
I will shun you.
Oh, right. I need to break down my plus 13.
I'm surprised we haven't run into any random encounters other than the cave so far.
Yeah, that's one of the
That's
things
pretty
that I was
funny.
just about to do. I mean, here's the thing. This is a rather safe location, and you've mostly been sticking to roads. Which, of note, given the fact that he got a rather high exploration roll, as the party is traveling, this is why I said I want you to move one day earlier, Tefrid ends up seeing off on the side of the road a pair of wheel tracks that ends up leading off of the road into some of the hills nearby. These tracks are caked in mud that are clearly there from probably earlier in the week before it rained. These tracks lead one tile to the southwest of here.
Southwest, I see. Okay.
Into this tile in the hills.
Kind of based.
Stafford. Do we follow? Stafford?
Alba?
Yes, sorry. I have to be perfectly honest with you. I did not process what you just told me.
No, it's fine.
Or not.
We found
Yeah.
some tracks that lead directly to the southwest. Hero was asking if we should follow them.
More
what kind of-
specifically, you found that.
What kind of tracks?
They are
wagon tracks.
wheeled tracks from like some sort of cart or carriage or some sort of wide-berthed wheeled vehicle. They are caked into the mud. They're relatively deep set. It was muddied when they went through, but now it's since dried rather profoundly. It's starting to go away a little bit with some of the light showers we've been started having today, but it's still mostly intact and clearly followable.
Well, some people could be in trouble. They could have been.
It seems like it's at least a day or a few days old, given the fact that it has caked rather solidly.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere between like, it probably wouldn't be longer than 4 weeks old, given how bad the rains were then, but
Yeah.
so sometime within that range.
Well, people could potentially need some help, depending on when, depending on how recent these are. Maybe we should look at, follow it a little bit to see what's happening. Check in.
Reasonable enough.
Right now it's a couple of times.
Or, if no people, then free thing.
I mean, yeah, but we could also figure out if there's an owner to those. Return thing.
Yeah, owner to those. Me.
Or perhaps it could be some of the items we've been instructed to bring back as part of the bounty. Regardless, it is well worth our time to head in that direction.
Not long far.
It is now the 32nd.
If we go.
Well,
Sure.
it's the 32nd either way. You camp out there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the end of the 31st days on this tile. It is now the 32nd.
There's also a pretty minor thing, but I would like to think that during rest out in the wilderness, Hero is casting Unseen Servant as a ritual to try and help with setting up and tearing down the camp.
I can see it. I like that. That's good. Good
That's nice.
RP. Well, then,
Sorry,
does the
Mark.
party take a day off and head that way?
I think so.
Let's head that way.
Somebody's got to move it.
Who was the pilot?
There you go.
Yeah.
As you make your way over, you see as the trail starts to get much more rickety, as it at points gets out of the mud, and at some points has very deep tracks in the mud until eventually, a good third of the way into the day, you end up stumbling across a cart that is almost completely sank in now very hardened, very cracked mud. It's been here at least 2 weeks, given how the area around it has settled. It's been stripped fairly clean of supplies, but there's also still many supplies and boxes around it. It's not as if it is anywhere close to full. Whoever left it here took most of it there, but there's still plenty of stuff there to discover.
Keep an eye out.
It is
This might be a trap.
It would be almost impossible to get it out, as mud has hardened underneath the ground between the spokes of the wheels, as it is almost entirely enveloped, but the materials that remain on top, despite the small amounts of dust, are still rather accessible.
Lovely. So is this a sort of like, I don't know, expansionary, like, what is the fucking, the word?
Developmentalist?
No.
Okay.
It's the thing, Manifest Destiny. Is this like one of those Manifest Destiny?
Oh no!
carts?
It's
Or,
not like
what is the cart?
no. It's not one of the Pioneer carts. It's more of just a traditional Valheim merchant's cart.
So like, okay.
Yeah. You don't know why they deviate off from the road to head this direction, but they did, and they got stuck in the mud because of it.
Well, I'd say Rat is going to kind of shake Hiroe's shoulder that he's sitting on a little bit.
Go, look.
I believe that one of us should stay back to ensure that we know if we are being ambushed early. This seems too convenient.
How big are the
I'll
boxes?
stay back.
A lot of the boxes are already like open and empty, but there's a few of them that are closed.
But how big are the ones that are open?
Most of them are probably like I know how. Hold on, give me a moment. Like 2 feet by 1 feet by 1 feet. Most of them are small crate container. But there's a good chunk of them. There's probably like 8 of them that are unopened and about 12 of them that are.
Lovely. If Firway is not moving quick enough, Rat is going to get impatient and climb down him and run towards them himself.
Hiroi is going to head toward the boxes since Kyle said that he was keeping watch.
Either Hiroi or Rat, I would like one of you to give me an investigation.
Do you have proficiency?
I believe I do. Let me double check. Yes.
Can
Go
you
for
give
it.
yourself guidance for this?
Yeah,
Yes, he's
totally.
definitely giving himself guidance for this.
This is one of his autism hyperfixations, is getting things.
Whoa!
Alright, that is good enough that in addition to the normal 2 trade good roll, or 2 loot check rolls
Loot roll?
you get 2 additional ones as you go about finding like tiny little bits of some of them that are sunk in the mud and end up like recovering 3 extra crates that had been buried and are relatively untouched. So if you
Luckily,
go
they
to
pulled
the
away.
loot check section, roll that for me once. We are going to go through this process 4 times.
All right. Tables are here. Loot check. Roll once.
1 trade good. Go ahead and roll once on the trade good table.
Roll.
There you go. You can add as much of that as you would like.
Goodness gracious, that's a lot of encumbrance of low value trade goods.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's like slightly processed wood is probably like that sort of thing.
okay. We'll have that as like it's on standby. We'll see later.
Yep, go through it again. Roll it twice.
2 trade good rolls.
Tolls.
Tolls.
You have to give up whatever trade goods you roll on this. Hold on, there we go. It has been changed to rolls. That's real good.
Oh.
That's real good too.
That's real good.
I mean, it's like 4th best, but still, that's pretty decent.
I mean,
We've
Fourth
made
best is
it's
really
6
big.
gold worth of stuff so far. I don't know if we'll be able to take it all because it's heavy as shit, but
Roll 3, thanks to your excellent deduction.
oh,
Ooh.
All right.
oh my god.
Roll on the magic items list. 83. Roll on the uncommon items list. I gotta bring up my.
you gotta share that.
You know what? No. Yeah. You're probably right. I do need to do that. Configure observer set. Give me a moment while I pull open the sheet. You may roll it.
Hovering and ready. Lacks permission to update.
What? Configure ownership. Observer.
I
Save
can see
changes.
it, but
If you right click on it and you click
that's
roll,
yeah. I am right clicking and clicking roll because it's the only thing I can do. It just says it's a red, as opposed to the normal oranges. You do not have sufficient permission to view. It says I do not have. It's a red.
Do this.
No.
Try it now.
There we go.
Hey, item ID 22.
All right, 22. Give me a moment. 22. All right. One of the devices that was buried is clearly one that the owner would have. So true. Would have wanted to obtain, as it has this special gleam. It is a small pendant that would fit nicely around your neck. It is a trinket that holds the sign of the Thander and Gond on each side, and at the moment, its purpose is unclear, but it has multiple little parts that you can flick or twist, and it ratchets as it moves around.
Rat is very entranced by its mechanical exists like its ability to be mechanically interacted with. So
Which,
he is going to.
of note, given that forge is your current only aspect, you would know that it has a forge value of 4.
Okay.
A pendant honoring Lord Sun.
Mark kind of tilts his head as he kind of like pushes it up to him.
Who what?
I can explain later.
He
For
nods a couple
now,
of times.
Simply recorded in your inventory as item ID 22. Once you identify it, I will give you more information.
I will set it as a loot of item ID 22.
And then the final roll. For being excellent with once you realize that one of them was buried, you look around and you think maybe others are, and you find another
So
two.
true. All right. Loot check.
Hey, pretty good.
We are.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. So much weight.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Not too much value of it. It was probably some sort of caravan bringing from Hirora to Cart, and for maybe they came upon beasts and had to steer off to the side of the road and got stuck, and they took all of the things that were important and left a lot of the less valuable stuff.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
Of note, carts can carry a shit ton, so
Yeah.
do with that what you will.
We have 2 mules, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The values in group storage on its carrying capacity, however, are accurate.
Are both of them? I see.
Yes, it is
We
a
had a
combined twice the normal strength. Their strength is 24 instead of 12.
If we had a way to extract the cart, then that might be of some use.
It is
Let me
also of
think for a
note
moment.
that the mules can go up to just shy of 2/3 carrying capacity without slowing down the party because they move faster by default.
I see. We could also fuck around with carry weight to like perfectly deviate nobody losing carry weight.
Hi, do you have any spells that might be able to, I don't know, shift the mud around? Or
Mud
barring
isn't
that,
really. It's
Mud
mud,
ride.
right? It's not. Yeah, no.
I didn't know if you knew mold earth or anything like that.
Of note, it seems exceptionally well within the ground. Like the axle is entirely enveloped on one side in the mud. It's about 20 degrees to the side, as part of it is completely sank and the other part is only sticking out some.
Nothing that would help with this.
Alright.
Thank you for thinking of me.
And friend, I don't suppose that you could get it out with your unique abilities without breaking any part of it, could you?
I can only try.
Do stuff, time waste.
Well, in the worst case scenario, we only lose about a minute's worth of time. And if we can get the cart, then that gives us a lot to work with.
Rad, you're creative, right? Could you just, I don't know, could you make another wheel if this one breaks? If we have to leave without this wheel?
I have tools for cut wood, and even if do not know well cut wood, could maybe wheel make, but
He kind of shrugs.
time waste.
And Kyle, I assume that you don't have the mending spell, do you?
No, can't say that I do.
That can good fix thing though.
What magics do you have, Kyle?
I'm sorry? What do you mean by that?
Never mind.
Has Kaio not casted any magic?
I have
He's
cast
cast
He casts
A
light.
level
two
spell.
cantrips.
I have cast a variety of cantrips, more than a normal person would know, and I think I cast one leveled spell.
Oh
And it was-
yeah, you cast a healing word, didn't you?
I cast a healing word on myself.
But yeah, 190 would still totally be able to go onto the mules without issue.
Okay.
Okay. Is that how much we have total?
Yeah, it's 190, 100 in low value and 90 in medium value.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let me up that then. If we're totally good.
Yeah, it's 240 or so. Hold on. 720. Yeah, I think that's 240. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that brings up
234
to,
encumbrance.
that's good. We're good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The mules are starting to get burdened. They move a little slower than they normally would, but they're still more than keeping up pace with you.
I know a lot of spells that are not for, and he just kind of gestures at mud and a cart. They're not for this, whatever this is.
All right.
Didn't we want to keep a certain amount of gold on the mule? What happened to the gold we were keeping on mule? It's completely gone now.
We spent it on rations since we bought another 10 days worth of rations.
All good.
Speaking of, did we consume rations for this week? Or this Bastion turn?
Yeah.
No, we didn't. We still have 140.
Oh. Well.
So we spent 70, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect, and that's more encumbrance for us. Delicious.
True.
No, eat your foods, quick. All right.
Delineous.
And Shepard got 10 rations from his thing.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we should have had 150.
Yep, there we go. Alright. Then I assume we spend the rest of the day getting back onto the road?
Half of it.
Okay.
And then your 1 point of movement into the next day on the 24th.
Okay.
23rd.
34th, you mean, right?
Wait. 31,
That should be
32.
32.
It's the 33rd.
33rd. Okay, so then we go here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to spend the remaining movement starting
There
to
is
try
no
and get
remaining
into the hill.
movement.
Don't we get to move 3 hexes in desert?
You do?
So we spent half of our movement getting onto the hills,
Right.
then a third of our movement getting back onto the road.
Not a third of your movement getting back onto the road. The other half.
Oh, so it's
Because it's
okay.
not road to road.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
okay. So moving. So is it moving onto or off of that costs the hills
So,
amount?
The
Was it any movement
the
involving
amount
the hill?
that it costs is always moving on to the tile. So like moving on to a forest still costs 2. And you just spent 1 of it the previous turn, right? Imagine moving here to here
okay.
costs 1 today because you put 1 towards it yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, because we were here at the start of the thing, then this took
2
half of our
movement.
movement.
This took 2 of your 3. And then you put 1 of your 3 to here.
Oh, okay.
And then you spent the first of your 3 to finish going there.
Okay.
And now you have 2 more movement. There you go.
Okay, which we used to get there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I don't know why I had so much trouble with that. Okay.
Because of the road, probably.
Yeah, for some reason I thought that forest was still normal movement.
No.
Yeah,
My
no,
bad.
roads only work if you're
Right,
going
yeah,
from
yeah.
a road to a road.
Okay, so on 34th,
Mm-hmm.
let's go here.
Tefrid, you start to find tracks faint.
Alfred? Albatross?
It might be best to stop soon.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if we're going to do bandits soon, we should, and have a combat, we should probably stop here. Because this is also
I'm-
the end
Let's
of the
go
34th
slightly
because-
more.
Okay.
Who wants to attempt to follow the tracks using either a hunting or a nature? Or sorry, survival.
I will do that. I think I probably have the best survival here.
What do you
I-
Yeah, you
have?
definitely have better survival than me. I have decent nature.
Yeah, Rat also has
What,
decent
what's your survival modifier?
It's got expertise in it. That's not a guarantee.
So that would be like
Okay.
+6.
Plus
correct.
4 plus
Plus
whatever his
6.
base is.
Yeah, plus 6.
Yeah, so you definitely got the best of us.
Yeah.
The best of us, part 2.
Survival.
It's
Ooh.
good enough.
Oh,
Do you follow the tracks?
yes, absolutely.
All right.
Brings us
The
to
next
the
day
35th.
brings you there and there because of half movement and then half movement.
Mhm.
And the next day brings you here, which is where the tracks start to get very strong, as it is now the 27th.
37th.
Fuck me.
Ooh.
As it is
Feel
now the
those.
37th. And on the other side of this river, I want... Golden, what was your roll earlier?
For perception?
Yes.
Like,
That was an 11.
yeah.
The party is following the tracks and ends up stumbling into... Whoops, I need to activate instead of doing it. Into a bit of a situation as
Got
from
super
on
lucky,
top
man.
of a cliff, a few bandits make themselves visible as they unleash a few arrows / crossbow bolts down onto the group of you. And that is where the session shall end.
What was that cliff?
I mean, it does look like a cliff, doesn't it?
So we were surprised by these bandits?
Yes, you were.
Okay,
Damn.
gotcha.
And
I was
with that,
planning on using Gift of Alacrity when we got closer to them, but I don't think I would have realized this was going to happen today.
Mm-hmm.
from like a metagaming perspective of like, didn't think that we'd do it today in game, or
Well,
Like-
no, I mean,
No,
like,
we got
from-
surprised by them, right? So
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what I mean. From Kaio's perspective, he was like, "Oh, we found tracks. We'll get to them eventually." And then all did it.
Right.
Oh,
yes.
That was today.
oh.
Yep.
Gotcha, bitch.
gotcha, bitch.
Who knows? Maybe if somebody else doubled up on guard duty once they saw his role instead of studying, it might be different. But hopefully, nobody dies as
Yeah,
a
that's
result.
fair.
So
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not worried about it.
Well, I mean, Rat is gonna suggest running.
Yeah, we're kind of. This is kind of bad.
There's only 3 of them. Who cares?
That we know of.
Rat doesn't like the terrain
Tiny
disadvantage.
I mean, I actually do have magic for this.
Before we end, how high is the cliff?
probably a good like 14, 15 feet. Tall enough that most of you, I don't think any of you can just run and scale it, but not so tall that if you are big enough, you could lift people up.
All right,
Well, I only
Operation
lift
Huck
half of
Rat
them.
is a go.
What?
What are you gonna do once he's up there?
Oh, I'll figure it out. Didn't think that far ahead.
Stab a bitch, probably. And with that, the session ends. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I think at the pace we're going, I think I am capable of performing another session next week.
Oh shit.
We can talk about
I
it.
can't.
Well, we can
Yeah.
neither
Yeah.
day. We can talk about it in a moment. But either way, thank you all for being here, and I look forward to seeing you whenever next that is. Farewell.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.